My name is Lena Tran, and for the last 6 months, I've been trying to figure out what happened to Maya Delgado. Maybe you've heard her name. Or maybe you've heard the voicemail, the one that ends in static and breathing. She lived in apartment 12B. Except, the last time I visited Briar Glen Apartments, there was no 12B, just a wall. She called the police 36 times before she vanished. No body, no break-in, just her voice whispering one final message to her sister before it all went quiet. I wasn't her friend, not at first. I didn't even know her. I was the journalist they sent to write the follow-up. But something about her story, it stuck. Or maybe it crawled under my skin and made a home. This is what I found. I first read about Maya in a small police blotter report, barely 2 sentences. Female resident reported hallway loitering. No subject found. Case closed. But that wasn't the beginning. November 3rd, her first call. She told dispatch someone had been standing outside her door every night for a week. They never knocked, never spoke, just stood there, still, silent. And sometimes, she said she heard her name. You have to picture this, a young woman in her 20s, living alone in a crumbling apartment with a deadbolt that sticks and hallway lights that flicker like old film. She was a freelance designer, worked odd hours, barely left the place. Her groceries were delivered. Her mail piled up inside the door. She was isolated and scared, and no one took it seriously. The police showed up. They knocked. She barely cracked the door. Said she felt watched. Said the walls were too thin. They left her with a shrug. Her next calls came more frequently, every few days. The shadow wasn't just in the hallway anymore. She thought it was on her balcony, then in her kitchen. Her dreams, her skin. One night, she woke up and every cabinet in her kitchen was open. Another night, she found her alarm clock blinking 3:33 a.m. She started to unravel, but not in a chaotic way. No, she was methodical, kept records, voicemails, emails to her landlord, drawings, pages of sketches in her notebooks showing figures with no faces, reflections with wrong shadows. I saw them. I touched those pages. Her handwriting changed over time, from neat cursive to trembling scrawl. I can hear it breathing. It watches through the mirror. I think it lives in a static. The landlord said she was paranoid. The police started calling her a chronic. Even the building's maintenance guy avoided her floor. But Maya didn't stop calling for help until she did. March 12th, 2:09 a.m. She left a message on her sister Arlene's phone. I've heard it too many times. You hear her whispering, her voice fragile, like she's speaking with one hand over her mouth. Arlene, I know you think I'm crazy, but it's here. I can feel it in the walls. I keep seeing something in the mirror, like it's watching me from behind my eyes. I think I'm, then static, then one breath in, one breath out, and that's it. The next morning, Arlene called the cops. They went to 12B. The door was unlocked. Inside was still, eerily so. There was a cup of tea on the counter, still warm. A kettle on the stove, long cooled. Laptop glowing with an unfinished email. No signs of struggle. No sign of Maya, except for a message scrawled on the bathroom mirror in red ink. A copy sound. I started interviewing neighbors. Most had moved out by then, but the ones who stayed, they remembered. Mrs. Coe, who lived 2 floors down, said she once heard Maya arguing in the hallway, except there was no one there. One guy, Brian, 12C told me Maya used to talk in her sleep. He'd hear her through the vent, but sometimes the voice talking back wasn't hers. It was deeper, slower. The voicemail was analyzed by a forensic audio technician. I watched him run spectrograms and waveform analysis. He told me, and I quote, "This isn't random static. This is organized, repetitive." He believed the last few seconds weren't Maya. They were something trying to sound like her. Some people think Maya had a breakdown. Others think it was sleep paralysis, or schizophrenia, or ghosts. But there's something else. I requested the original floor plans from the city. Briar Glen was built in 1972. 5 floors, 16 units per floor, except floor 12 only lists 12A and 12C. No 12B, but it existed. I saw it once, before they gutted it. Now it's gone. A wall, just a wall. And Arlene? She swears sometimes when she's near Denver, her phone rings once. Just once. No caller ID, no voicemail, just static. I never met Maya, but I think about her every time I hear a click on the line. Every time the power dips. When a voicemail comes through with no sound. Sometimes help never arrives. Sometimes something answers instead. She called for help 36 times, and we failed her. Now all that's left is a story no one wants to hear, a voicemail no one wants to believe, and an apartment that doesn't exist. If you're still listening, thank you. My name is Lena Tran, and this was voicemail 36, the last call from apartment 12B. If you believe Maya deserves to be remembered, share this story. Subscribe to the Hauntline. We dig up the stories that others bury. And if you ever hear your name whispered through a wall, don't answer. It already knows you're listening.